Carvana, one of the few companies you can go to where you can have a midsize SUV DoorDash directly to your house. Also, a terrible place to work.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, please hold me, don't show me, Obi.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the NebrAlien channel. It is the worst companies to work for. Today, we're talking about Carvana. I'm sure you've heard of the company by now. 100% online experience, auto dealership. You open the app, you select the vehicle you want, put it to your cart, hit send, and then it magically shows up on your doorstep, right? So we know the business model. We know what it is. It's been popular over the last few years. You see Carvana ads everywhere, but a lot of people that work for the company don't think it's so great. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. We're going to jump over to Indeed. Indeed is where I put the information together, where I tally up the reviews, all of the ratings and all of that stuff. This is how I compile the lists of the best places, the worst places to work. And we're going to jump right over to the overall rating for this company is a 2.6. 2.6 is terrible. If you to make it to the worst list, you have to be at 3.0 or below. 2.6 is just mercilessly low. We're looking at the 1 stars on here. Out of 2,270 reviews, 709 of them are 1 star. So most of the reviews given on this company from previous and current employees have given it a 1 star. That's how bad it is. Well, I mean, to be fair, I guess, you've got to throw some 2 and 3 stars in the mix, but if you've got 709 1 stars compared to only 297 5 stars, that's not very good news for the company. All right, let's give a look at some salaries. All right, I'm not sure. Let's see here. What did I pull up here? Customer advocate. What I was going to say is I'm not sure exactly what some of these roles are. If you've worked for the company, you could probably help me out on this one. Customer advocate. $18.41 per hour, $18.41. I imagine those are people that answer the phone. Software engineer, $136,000. Wow, not bad. Automotive mechanic, $24.89. $24.89 seems low for an auto mechanic. I know that's low for diesel mechanics, and I can't imagine that auto mechanics that's anything to brag about. Anyway, customer service, $17.71 per hour. Senior customer advocate, $19.85. Customer representative, $17.27. Auto body technician, $27.95. Again, that seems low for that kind of a skill set. Lot attendant, $15.55 per hour. I'm sure those are the ones that are cleaning, detailing. Well, it also says right here, automotive detailer, $15.80 per hour. So I'm not going to say that it's the worst pay. What do we got for management? Team leader, $61,000 a year. Operations lead, $59,000. Manager, this is one I was looking for, $81,422 per year. So to manage one of these Carvana locations, I imagine, is $81,000 salary. Logistics manager, $86,000. So it doesn't seem like the pay is too bad. It's not terrible. I mean, you could do worse. You could work at Burger King or Dollar General, but the pay, when we get over there, I think that's one of the ones that ranked a little bit lower. Looking at the company snapshot, 63 points total, low score. Happiness overall is low. Stress-free is below average. Seems like this is a very stressful position. Purpose, low. It's how meaningful people find their work. So a lot of the people who work there don't feel like it's very meaningful work. Stress-free, below average. I think I already said that. Very stressful work environment. Satisfaction, low. About the company. Ernie Garcia is the CEO. He only pulls a 57% approval rating. Not the best. We just did one of the best places to work. The CEO of Costco was pulling about an 88%. Just to give you an idea of how these scales go. I've seen lower, but 57% is not a very high approval rating. Gives you the idea that not a lot of people like the direction that Ernie Garcia is taking this company. All right, let's check out the rating overview. This is a company, the ratings on Indeed have remained under a 3.0 for as long as I can see here for the last 5 years. And part of the criteria that I use I think I already said this, but a part of the criteria that I use is that a company has to be at 3.0 or below. That's what makes it to the worst companies to work for in my book. And this one, 2019, 2.64, 2.53, 2.69, 2.44, 2.49. Even over the last 5 years, it's been in kind of a all-time low over the last 2 years. And the things that people seem to dislike the most, not surprised, management scored the lowest at 2.2. Job security and advancement was the next at 2.3. Move over to work-life balance at 2.7. The culture at 2.6. I guess you switch those two. It was culture, then work-life balance. So people don't really feel like they have good work-life balance, and they really don't care for the people that they work with. They think the culture is a little bit toxic. And then compensation and benefits was the highest scoring. So like I said, this company, it didn't seem like the pay was terribly low, but everything else just kind of sucks. And you can tell that they really don't invest in management here. So I think what we're going to notice when we go over to the reviews that people have left for the company is that management is probably the biggest reason that people are leaving this company. I mean, a 2.2 is terrible. You look at the review that I did not too long ago, or the best places to work, Costco, where the manager was at about a 3.5, and that was the lowest rated category there, but it was at a 3.5, which is above average. 2.2 is just ridiculous. I mean, that is just it's low, it's sad, and it just shows you that people do not really like the management that are going into it. So the company itself is not really putting the resources into bringing on the best talent when it comes to management, and this is obviously leaking through to everything else. You have a bad management, they can't really run the schedule very well, which makes work-life balance suffer. They don't really give an opportunity. They don't really make it look like people have a future with the company. They don't want to work under that guy, let alone take the person's place. Job security and advancement suffers. And then culture as well, because it's just a place that it creates a toxic work environment when you have bad managers like that. And the whole company or the whole location is going to suffer like that. So definitely the problem that I'm seeing here with Carvana is going to be the management. This is the thing that is driving most people out of the door. Some of the benefits, there was nothing about the benefits that stuck out to me. Nothing that says, this is a great place to work. We have this versus whatever. I didn't see anywhere where it said that it did a company match on the 401k. To me, it looks like the benefits are a pretty standard healthcare, PTO, stuff like that. They say some military leave here, perks and discounts. There's going to be an employee discount. I think that one's kind of obvious. You'll get a discount on already overpriced cars. So I don't really know. I really don't know if that's a big benefit. Tuition reimbursement is kind of a nice one. That's always something that if you're working and going to school at the same time, I would always recommend signing up for the tuition reimbursement. That's always kind of a cool benefit. I don't know what they mean by learning and development, but nothing really stands out about the benefits to me. And I wish it'd show me how many PTO or vacation days that you get. I imagine it's going to be a pretty standard. You work there for 60 to 90 days and you start seeing it could be up to a year. But really nothing about these benefits stand out to me as being cool. It's really just kind of blah. And one thing, we're going to get into this when I read the reviews, a lot of people were talking about this company as a sinking ship, that a lot of the people that work for it felt like it was just going down quick, basically a dumpster fire. So we're going to kind of look at the stocks and how they've done over the last 5 years, which is not looking very good for the company. I would say those were some pretty accurate statements. If we look over the last 5 years, we're over in about 2019 territory where we were maintaining, under $100, but we're talking about an average of about $60 per share. I mean, it hit by the end of 2019 into 2020, you were at about $100. And then what happens? 2020 through 2021, that's when there was a big, kind of an explosion. Wonder what happened. It was almost like people couldn't leave their houses and go out in public, so they had to look online for the things that they wanted. So yeah, during the peak of maybe a pandemic, there was a lot of a lot of business. The business increased quite a bit and shot the stock up to, I think there was a high point here of just about 360. So it was well into the 300s. But then what happened? Oh boy, shortly after 2022, just plummeted. And now, I mean, hell, at the beginning of 2022, that was at an all-time low. That was at I don't know about all time, but it was definitely a 5-year low. We were hitting $4, $6, $7. And I think where we stand now, we're back up to about $45. So almost to where it was about 5 years ago. But yeah, this is not a very good sign for the company. This does not show upward momentum for the company at all. One thing, I mean, if you want to dig in and find out about a company, it's always good to do research on a company if you're going to interview with it, right? Because you want to know that you have some knowledge in it, but even just for your own benefit. If you're applying at a company and it's publicly traded, it's a good idea to look at the stocks, because if that thing's on a downward trend, you might be getting into a company where layoffs are going to be coming soon. So it's kind of a good idea. If it's a publicly traded company, look at the stocks, see how they're doing. If it's not kind of upward growth the whole time, if it's not constantly improving, then that's not a very good sign. That a lot of what these people are saying about it being a sinking ship and all that, there's probably some truth to it. All right. So what I also like to do is I've handpicked some of my favorite comments, some of my favorite reviews that people have left about the company, and we'll just go into these because this is actually what people were saying about the company. So you get it straight from, you get it straight from the employee, straight from the people that were in the trenches. What did they have to say about it? First one, provided sodas, marketing coordinator and customer advocate out of Tempe, Arizona. We were promised the moon, and all we got was mooned. We were promised that we'd be sent home to work remotely, and while every class before mine and after was sent remote, management continued to act unprofessionally and never engaged with our team to tell us why. Lies upon lies. Pros, free coffee. Cons, timed bathroom breaks. Timed bathroom breaks? Are you serious? I could not try to deuce one out at work with a stop clock going. Like somebody sitting back there. What took you so long? Well, I had Taco Bell, maybe a little Chipotle. Anyway, that's dumb. Carvana only promotes baristas. Advocate out of Tempe, Arizona. Carvana was not an ideal place to work at. The company routinely promoted unqualified candidates into senior roles. We all had a joke about working at Carvana. That the way one had to get promoted was to quit the company, go to work at a local coffee shop for 6 months, then to reapply at Carvana. But pros, free drinks, cons, limited career advancement. Yeah, I can see that limited career advancement. But that is funny. Have you ever worked at a job and, the people that work there, the only way that you ever get a raise or anything like that was you threatened to quit? Or if that didn't even work, they would lose somebody and then have such a hard time trying to find somebody else that they would actually actively go after these people that used to work for them and then say, hey, we can finally do that, promotion that we talked about, or we can finally give you a little bit more money, only after you had to quit the job and have them hire you back. I've seen that so many times at so many different companies that I worked for, where people would quit, go somewhere else for a while, then reapply and get a better position, better pay, stuff like that. That actually happens at a lot of different places. Worst company to work for ever. Customer advocate out of Lyons, Illinois. If you like dead-end jobs with horrible pay and no opportunity to move up because the company is horribly ran and has the worst management ever and doesn't hire from the inside, then this job is for you. Carvana is a total joke. If you are in college, this would be a good job during that time. Other than that, it's a horrible company to work for, and they do not care one bit about you. Wow. Sinking ship. This is what we were talking about. Stay away from this sinking ship. Verification advocate out of Tempe, Arizona. I think this is actually the headquarters in Tempe. Carvana is a ship that is quickly sinking, full of incompetent managers, nepotism. I love it when people use the word nepotism, and favoritism like you wouldn't believe, and just complete and utter unprofessional and awful behavior. They cling to the "we are all in this together" mindset, and that you're all one big happy family, when in all honesty, have no care for their employees or best interests. Don't get sucked in by their cool vibe. They are just another heartless corporate leech who doesn't care about their employees at all. Stay away. That's one big pet peeve. That's one big pet peeve of mine, is what I was trying to say. We're a family. No, we're not. You're not my uncle. I'm here to make money. That's it. I hate it when companies say, we're just a family. We're like a family here. No, we're not. We're not. You're my boss. I work here. I just want money, and then I'm going home, and I'm not thinking about you, okay? Probably the worst company for both employees and customers. All right. Oh, this is from a customer advocate out of Baltimore, Maryland. It starts off great. My manager in the beginning was the best ever. But then Carvana started hiring new managers who absolutely do not care about you or the customers. They force drivers to deliver cars that are in the worst condition ever and want to put the responsibility on the drivers to deal with the upset customers. They just installed cameras in the trucks. They change policies left and right. They are very contradicting with every word they say. They expect you to give all of your time to them, but can't compensate you. They can't compensate when you need time. They set you up for failure, and the lot attendants, like someone else mentioned, really are always children who are played to play around and not do their job. They send you 2 hours away when you're supposed to be off in 2 hours. They don't consider traffic, customer issues, etc. That one was hard for me to read through. Pros: on the road by yourself, a little bit of freedom there. Cons: no breaks, bad management, hire outside, favoritism, lack of knowledge, terrible staff, long hours. The list goes on and on and on. Bad company and HR. Technician, former employee out of Cleveland, Tennessee. The company doesn't care about you, and HR is only there to fire you. Nothing else they don't. Oh, fire you? Nothing else they don't care? Is only there. Oh, okay. So HR is only there to fire you and nothing else, basically. They don't care if you have to sit at home for 2 weeks without pay. They only care for themselves. Do not work for them. I cannot say this enough about any company that you work for. HR, no matter what they say, they're not there for you. They're not there for the employee. HR is in place for the best interests of the company, okay? HR is not going to help you. HR is actively seeking ways to save the company's ass, okay? If you come with some kind of a complaint, some kind of a harassment, the best thing that they're going to try to do for you is talk you out of suing the company. All right. So honestly, if you have something like a sexual harassment or worse, discrimination, talk to a lawyer. Don't talk to HR. HR is not going to do shit for you. They don't work for you. They work for the company. They are there in place. You could probably look it up somewhere, but HR, that whole thing was put together to try to work as kind of an in-between you and the manager, or it's basically, like I said, they're there to cover their own ass. HR is not going to lift a finger to try to make your life any easier. They are actively trying to make sure that the company stays out of trouble. That's it. Okay? HR doesn't work for you. That's all I have to say about it. That's one thing that drives me nuts. You know, people talk about reporting something to HR, this and that. If it's serious, if it's sexual harassment, if it's, racism, discrimination, anything like that, talk to a lawyer. Don't talk to HR. HR is going to look for a way to protect that company, not you. Oh boy, here we go. Worst slave driving sweatshop in town. Out of a risk assessment manager out of Tempe, Arizona. Want to work 70 hours a week for peanuts? Come aboard. Absolutely worthless company. They do not care about their employees in the slightest, but they'll bring you coffee and snacks to try to save face. Don't buy into it. Oh, here we go. This one right here is one of my favorites. The place where your will to live goes to die, from a body shop technician out of Windsor, Georgia. There's no PG way to explain the atrocities that occurred here at the old Windsor Carvana IC. The management was a band of loony, incompetent phonies that pretend to be your friend, but will pierce a dagger of betrayal into your skull if it meant they can make themselves look better. Instead of actual advancement based on merit and skills, they move people up the ladder by how well they kiss up to the management above them. In fairness, part of that part of that initiative to move up is a little bit of ass kissing. That's just a secret between me and you, but you're going to have to kiss a few butts if you want to excel your career. That's a little secret. Anyone who wants a real career with real fulfillment and purpose, stay away from here. Your life will be a joke, and your will to succeed will be slow roasted over a fire built by the company. Stay away. The only way to get rid of an incompetent manager is to make up an agreed upon lie that he or she made a lewd comment to an employee. That's it. That's the only way to bring about a change. The company is a joke. Oh, and if you prefer beanbag chairs and Xbox in the break room over a raise in your pay for all your hard work, this place is for you. Okay. Pros. Pros. Getting sideways in some new Stangs in the parking lot. Getting sideways in some new Stangs. Oh, tell me they're not abusing these cars before you get a look at them. Cons. Everything else. All right, well, there you have it. The people have spoken, and they are not happy with the company. If we just recap what we were talking about, the pay at Carvana is going to be better than a job at Burger King or better than a job at Walmart in most cases. I think if you're working on the lot detailing cars and stuff like that, it's going to be probably comparable to those other companies. The benefits don't really stand out for this company. It's going to be a pretty standard practice. It's going to be a pretty standard package. That's what I was trying to spit out. So there's really nothing that sticks out about the company, but I would say the biggest issue people facing a job with this company is the management. That's, it was the lowest scoring. We heard the complaints about it. They feel like the managers play favorites. They don't feel like the managers looking out for their best interests, and they're really not treating them in a way that makes them feel like a valued member of the team. So what Carvana could do at this point, really, I mean, we've looked at it. We've looked over the stock prices. We've looked at the company's value over the last few years. It had its spike when we had the pandemic going and people were searching everything and shopping online. It was a nice little spike, but now it went into that free fall, and the company does look like a sinking ship. It looks very much like a dumpster fire right now. And people, they don't really feel like there's a future with the company. They don't feel like the company's going to be there, at least not in the way that it is now, in even 5 years, 3 years. I mean, the way it's looking, this company very likely could see bankruptcy in its near future. So people do feel like it's a sinking ship, and they just don't feel comfortable with it. But the management, man, if you hire a bad management team, if you don't have proper training for your managers, then it's going to bleed through to the rest of it. And I think that's the biggest problem at Carvana is shitty managers. People just don't like the management there, and it's causing a lot of issues with everything else. Other than that, it's kind of a cool deal if you're able to order a car and get it online. I know I've seen a lot of get it, delivered to your door and all that stuff is really cool. But I've seen a lot of complaints, especially that one comment that was on there where you have vehicles that are being delivered that don't look like what they did on when you look at them online. You look at the inspection and people are leaving off damages, or there are some damages that happen due to loading, due to carelessness and stuff like that. And then these poor delivery drivers who, really didn't have anything else to do with it, they bear the brunt of it when they show up with a ride that is not as it was advertised online. It's got more scratches or more dings, dents, paint job, body shop work, stuff like that. And though they're the ones they have to face this with the customer, right? Well, this wasn't on the inspection. They're just like, yeah, dude, I'm just kind of here to drop it off. So again, one last thing, like I said, management, this is the problem we're looking at. One of the worst companies to work for, Carvana, definitely would not recommend. Stay away. Doesn't seem like it's a company that has a future. So your best bet is to maybe just go work for CarMax. Really quick, I wanted to let you know that I decided to become an affiliate for WeVideo. WeVideo is the best video editing software for beginners and content creators that are on a budget. It's cloud-based, so you don't really need expensive equipment to operate it. You can edit on less powerful, cheaper computers, as well as Android or Apple phones and tablets. It has all the features that you're going to need, like titles and transitions, narration and screen record, as well as green screen. At only about $100 per year, this is one of the most affordable video editing programs that you can use without having to deal with severely limited features and watermarks. Follow the link in the description. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Hey, before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you took time to subscribe to the channel. I put up new content weekly, and I try to make it as entertaining as possible for you. Plus, when you engage with small content creators like me by liking, subscribing, and clicking the notifications bell, it helps show us to more people and grow our channels, which makes you kind of a hero. Also, be sure to check the link in the description to discover this week's cool new thing that you didn't know you needed from Amazon. And of course, a big thank you to all of my current subscribers, especially being a channel under 10,000 subscribers. You are the real ones, the risk takers, and you will forever be my day ones. 1,000 times thank you.
You made this? Awesome.
I ride a hippopotamus. I ride a hippopotamus. You can ride my hippopotamus.